Charlamagne the God and The View's Whoopi Goldberg went at it over the pardon of Hunter Biden. The Breakfast Club host Charlamagne the God believes the president let his son off the hook. He was not having it. Let's watch.
I think all of the criticism is valid because, Democrats stand on this moral high ground all the time. And, they act so self-righteous. The reality is he didn't have to say anything in regards to, whether or not, his son wanted to be pardoned. He could have said, hey, man, I'm not focused on that right now. But since they were calling Trump a threat to democracy and they were saying that, nobody's above the law, but they were speaking about him, that's what they were running on. So when he kept saying things like, nobody's above the law, I respect, the jury's decision in regards to my son, he didn't believe that. But he didn't have to volunteer that lie to begin with.
That's when things got testy between Charlamagne and Whoopi. Let's watch that part.
I'm going to stop you for a second.
Uh-oh.
Only because you don't know that it was a lie. We don't know why he changed
You really think he just changed his mind over Thanksgiving weekend all of a
No,
sudden?
I'm going to tell you what I think.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he changed his mind because he got sick of watching everybody else get over. And this is just my feeling, because at some point you get to the place where you just go, so I'm just going to follow the straight and narrow always, because that's what's expected of Democrats.
But that's their fault. They're the ones that go out there and they stand on this moral high ground. Listen, they don't have to do that.
I'm a Democrat. Tell me what the moral high ground is.
The moral high ground is nobody's above the law. I respect what the jurors are saying. He don't have to do that.
So we're mad at him because he changed his.
Oh, no. By the way, I'm not mad at him pardoning Hunter Biden.
But you sound like you're
mad. No.
And here is Whoopi still standing by her man.
Can you explain to me why it is that when Joe Biden does something, everybody clutches their pearls? He's wrong.
Nobody
he lied.
has criticized Donald Trump more than me or Charlamagne the God.
I'm sorry. Yeah, people have criticized him more. I've criticized him more. We've all criticized him more. But you're missing my question.
Okay.
My question is, what is it that makes people flip out with Joe, but we don't have the same kind of thing?
Well, I don't think people are flipping out with Joe. I think Democrats are flipping out with Joe because Democrats believe that they don't represent what he's currently representing. But that's just not true. That's why I say they stand on this moral high ground that simply does not exist. And I think this is also the problem when we pick sides, right? We've turned political parties into teams. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. Ain't nobody more delusional than me, right? Okay? I feel like we're going to the Super Bowl every year, but I'm not delusional. Well, no, that is delusional. But when it comes... But when it comes to political parties, if you pick a side, right, if you say you're a Democrat, if you say you're a Republican, you refuse to be objective about anything.
That's why I'm an independent.
Yes, but
I think that's the best way to go.
But that's not a monolith. We're not, Democrats are not a monolith.
But why can't you say when Democrats are wrong? And why can't Republicans say when Republicans are wrong?
I'll tell you when Democrats are wrong.
So you don't think Joe Biden is wrong?
No, I don't. And can I just point this out to you? The president has the pardon power, right?
I didn't say you were ridiculous, Ms. Goldberg.
Yeah,
I would never. I said that. I just think that's
think about it. Just think about it this way.
So I think cards on the table, Whoopi is just wrong about this here. It's as Charlamagne the God said, he didn't have to promise that he would not pardon Hunter Biden. He didn't have to direct Karine Jean-Pierre to hammer that point home over and over again. He didn't have to put mainstream media commentators, liberal commentators, in the position of celebrating him for promising to do this, his fellow Democratic representatives in the position to gloat on TV that they're not like Donald Trump, they're not like Republicans, the leader of their party would never do something so corrupt, so unethical as pardoning his own son. He didn't have to do all that. He did. And so that is why a lot is being made out of this and why it is wise for Democrats to condemn him for doing so.
Well, Charlamagne, one reason why I think he is a refreshing voice right now is that he is being objective. You know, the key line that he said in that interview is, why can't you say when Democrats are wrong? We do live in these echo chambers. Politics has become essentially sport, where you have your red football team and your blue football team. And so the reason why I think some people are having trouble with the Hunter Biden pardon issue is because you're getting fed your talk, especially if you're on the Democratic side, you're getting fed your talking points. You're not really thinking critically. And so that's what makes voices like Charlamagne, I think, needed more, but unfortunately too rare. And the other thing that I think he's pointing to, he uses the metaphor of being a Dallas Cowboys fan, which I think is highly problematic for a number of reasons. And I don't see them winning a Super Bowl anytime soon. Mm-hmm. But the point is, you always view it through the lens of your team, and it's important to be able to work across those differences too. And I always say to people who are concerned about can we bridge divides in America that it's not about meeting at the 50-yard line. It's about meeting on a new playing field. And you only meet at that new playing field when you have real conversations and you can be objective about your own side.
Apropos of nothing, my Michigan Wolverines, they defeated Ohio State last weekend.
That was a great upset win.
I was so excited.
That was a great
win. I have rarely been so happy because it's been a rough season. I mean, it was expected to be a rough season with Harbaugh departing, but wow, did they redeem the season. It was great. This is apropos of absolutely nothing. I just remembered how delighted I was. I have seldom been in so good a mood.
Well, look, I mean, the reason why I think a lot of people were excited about an upset win like that is because they were the underdog coming in, and it's supposed to be some kind of rivalry. When it comes to politics, and then Ohio State started like a riot after. There was beating our people on the field. Learn to lose better than that, Ohio State. It's more apropos than you think. It's a blue team versus a red team, right? Michigan versus Ohio State, and that is a metaphor for politics. Now, it's fun in football. I enjoy it. I think culturally that's a great thing in our country. It doesn't really work well in politics because for a democracy to function, you have to have conversations with people you disagree with. In fact, President Obama today is hosting his democracy summit in Chicago focused on what he's calling pluralism. How do you disagree with people but still work with them on other issues? That is a foundational value of American democracy. And the more that we have in our media where we fire up the red team versus the blue team, it makes us incapable of not only being objective, as Charlamagne's talking about in that story, but also actually getting real things done. And when that doesn't happen, it feeds further cynicism. And for any Democrat who's alarmed about Trump getting into office, get ready for more Trump and more Trumpism if we don't address that issue.
Very well said, Stephen. I've really enjoyed hosting the show with you this week.
Thank you. It's been an honor, and look forward to doing more.
Great. That does it for us today on Rising. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss any of our content. And for those of you who like to listen while on the go, we're now available anywhere you can find podcasts. I will be back next week. See you then.